Hi everyone, so today we're gonna cover it for region 10, which is North America. They have two countries in this region, which is Canada and United States. So I'm gonna brief you a bit about this region. United States and Canada are among the world's largest country in terms of area, low populations, got a lot of natural resources and high material living standard. Even though both the country got close link for cultural and economically, but Canada got a strong sense of a natural pride compared to United States. Canada and United States are bound of the east by Atlantic Ocean, separating them from Europe and Africa by thousands of miles. Canada's northern border is the Arctic, while Canada itself serves as the entire northern border of the United States. The western border of both countries is the vast Pacific Ocean basin, which also put thousands of miles between region and East and Southern Asia. The United States southern border is divided between Mexico and the Gulf of Mexico. Next, we go to their climate. They have three climates in this region. First, tropical rainforest climate. Second, polar climates. Third, Mediterranean climates. Tropical rainforest climate and polar climates have a quite similar temperature, which is if they go high temperature, they can go high enough to melt the snow. But if they go a low temperature, they can be more freezing in that country. For Mediterranean climates will be happen around California, Oregon and Washington. The temperature maintained on average every month above 20 Celsius, but seasonal variation. They are cool below 18 Celsius. Next, we go to the environment problem. They have two environment problem, which is a natural hazard, regional environment issue. For natural hazard, they have a 6 type of a hazard. First, hurricanes, tornadoes, river flood, lightning, severe winter storm, earthquake and volcano. First, we go to hurricanes. Okay, hurricane is like a storm, violent winds. As you can see here, in October 2016, the National Hurricane Center report a hurricane watch has been issued in the east coast of Florida. Okay, next is tornadoes. Tornadoes is the vortex of the winds that can destroy all the house at certain towns when they come. As you can see in this slide, in 2016, tornado affected Texas in February and moved northward to the Great Lakes by June. Next is a river flood. In the United States, it will always happen. For example, as you can see in the slide, a Mississippi River picture of flooding part of the downstream of St. Louis, Missouri, December 2015. Next is lightning. As you can see in the slide, the lightning has been pictured from the technology research during the storm happened. The lightning especially will happen in Florida. Next, severe winter storm. It's not common that will be happen in the United States, but if it happen, it will make a lot of damage in that country, because when the severe winter storm coming, the strong wind will come and will make everything destroyed. The last one is the earthquake and volcano. It's not always happen, but when it's happened, it will give a really huge damage. As you can see in the slide, the earthquake happened in 2016 in Puerto Viejo, and then the volcano happened in Hawaii National Park in 2014. These are the hazards that happen in this country. Okay, next we go to regional environment issue. They have 7 issues in this topic. First, we go to the water pollutions. Water pollutions that happen in Colorado rivers. The water is come from aquifers. Aquifers is meaning that water from underground that go up. It might be make the water dirty, and that's why the water pollution happen. And next, a wildfire. This is a natural burning cycle frequently occur in the vegetation, present a growing hazard. It will happen naturally, and it always happen, and affected mostly in Los Angeles basin in Southern California, because when the wildfire occurs, the forest might be burning within a few minutes. Next, we go to mining. Mining is an industry that obtaining a coal. So when it's happened, there will be damage for the land. And this is a really common things that occur in this country. Next, we go to global warming. Global warming is ongoing rise of the average temperature of Earth's climate system and has been demonstrated by direct temperature measurements and by measurements of various effects of the warming. So, as you can see in the slide, cities that having the global warming is Washington, Baton Rouge, and Los Angeles. This is quite common things that will occur in this city. Next is acid rain. Acid rain is the rain or any other form of precipitation that is unusually acidic, meaning that it has an elevated level of hydrogen ion. It can have harmful effect on plants, aquatic animals, and infrastructure. As you can see, it causes rivers and lakes downwinds in the northeastern United States and eastern Canada to become more acidic. Next is dust storm, one of the worst environmental disasters. A strong turbulent wind which carried cloud of thin dust, soils, and sand for the large area. As you can see, dust bowl happened in western Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas. And the next slide, you can see that 3 million people left their farms because of these incidents in 1930. As you can see in the slide, this is the dust storm that happened in Elkhart, Kansas in 1937, and also in Goodwell, Oklahoma in 1977 too. The last one is a plastic waste management in America. This pollution is a global issue that impacts the ocean, health, and well-being. This is not only affected to human, but also for animal and environment. That's why recycle things happen to reduce the issue of the plastic waste management in America. As you can see in this slide, there is a lot of plastic waste by humans in some places, and that's why recycling tons will be used for a good environment. The next slide is a regional culture. They have 5 types of regional culture, which is the emergence of regions, Native Americans, Europe settles, wealth of natural resources, and human resources. In 1492, the indigenous people of North America lived in society based on agriculture, hunting, trading, and the local communal sharing of resources. Global connection began with the exploration of the region by various European interests. The indigenous Americans throughout the region were overwhelmed by cultural hegemony or forced conversion of their social custom to the vastly different technology and social tenets of the European. In the 3 centuries after the European discovery of the region, North America became a series of colonies and occupied territories governed by France, Spanish, British, Dutch, Russian, and Swedes. The British became the dominant power by the mid-1700s. Almost immediately, settlers south of the St. Lawrence River Valley fought to become the independent United States of America by signing the Declaration of Independence in 1776, forcing Britain to recognize U.S. sovereignty. Canada arose mostly out of the colonial territories first established along the St. Lawrence and the Great Lakes, and remained a British colony far longer than the United States. It achieved a degree of independence through the British North America Act in 1867, while maintaining legal ties to Britain until 1982, when it gained control of its constitutions. Today, Canada is fully independent country that enjoy membership in the Commonwealth of Nations. Next, we go to Native American. Native American referred to First Nation in Canada, inhabited North America for centuries before European settlement. The first American probably migrated from Siberia to Alaska over 20,000 years ago. By AD 1500, they lived in hierarchically structured ethnic groups, commonly called tribes, adapted in culture and distribution to the physical environment. Next is European settler. The French settled the mouth of the St. Lawrence River in present-day Canada from the early 15,000. They established farm settlement along the banks of the St. Lawrence Valley. When areas such as southern North America did not deliver the gold that they hoped for, the Spanish left much of the land to be cared for by Roman Catholic mission or to be used for cattle ranches. In 1619, the first Africans were imported to perform the labor-intensive field work. Slavery became a significant institution by the 17,000, fueling the development and expansion of agriculture south and west from the southern Atlantic coastal plains. They landed at the Cape Cod in present-day Massachusetts and moved across the bay to the Plymouth, beginning the settlement of the region that became known as New England. In 1630, the Dutch were the first to settle in the Middle Atlantic between New England and Virginia around their port town of New Amsterdam. The British drove the Dutch from their settlement in 1660. The British Duke of York received charge of the Dutch lands and gave his name to the largest city, changing it from New Amsterdam to New York. Many Irish and German came to the region in early 70,000, established a farming system based on growing corn and raising livestock and spreading it southward along the Abidin Valley. After independence in 1783, the three areas of settlement along the Atlantic coast, with their different economy and social system, formed springboard for thousands who moved westward within the United States as the new land were acquirees. The early settlers of North America discovered a seemingly limitless wealth of natural resources, including vast open land, good soil, a variety of minerals, fur-bearing animals, fish, and timber. The resource wealth of the region provided a solid foundation for the settlers to establish commercial farming and other resources related to industry. For primary product and new lands during 16,000 and 17,000s, they found that such as tobacco, sugarcane, rice, and indigo. Later on, they found out cotton, and the growing slave trade provided an abundant source of relatively low-cost labor. After establishing complete independence in 1783, United States finally buying land from France and Spain and acquiring the western third by negotiation and military conquest. To ensure the rapid occupation of these new areas and land was surveyed and sold by the U.S. government at lower and lower price, the Homestead Act of 1862 provided families with very inexpensive or even free farm land. Settlers spread to the vast interior plains and tackled challenges that including clearing vegetation, marking boundaries, raising buildings, creating roads, and buying livestock and seed. Families able to overcome the expenses of starting farms in the interior took advantage of fertile soil and the warm, moist summer climates, a combination that proved ideal for growing corn and wheat and raising cattle and pigs. Next, resources for U.S. manufacturing. Americans established their own manufacturing industry, providing goods that were at first not obtainable from Britain. Textile, metal goods, and leather goods were among the first industry to develop, often powered by water mill in New England, New Jersey, and Eastern Pennsylvania. Coal in Eastern Pennsylvania around the birthplace caused charcoal and iron making by 1850, and later steel industry that set off for the Industrial Revolution. And then the primary symbol of the early steel-based Industrial Revolution, the railroad, spread across the country to the Pacific coast. The manufacturing belt of the northeastern United States, which are initially developed based on the regional resources of coal, iron, and agricultural produce of the Midwest, later drew in mineral resources from other parts of the country. Railroad linked the mines of the Western Mountain to the Eastern economy and political core. In the 19,000s, the availability of natural resources combined with the utilization of rivers for irrigation, navigation, and hydroelectricity and discovery oil and natural gas drew more people and manufacturing corporations southward and westward from country core. That's how they developed their own nature. Next is human resources. Under human resources, they have a new people, new skill, European culture, tradition, and individual skill and initiative. To serve primarily as a slave in the agriculture industry remained the target of a debilitating discrimination even after the Civil War guaranteed their freedom. Next, education and technology. United States sought to develop conditions in which a whole population could flourish by making the most of their freedom under the democratic constitution. It's established a compulsory education much earlier than European countries. Its emphasis on technology transfer began with the late 80,000 land grant for established engineering and farming university in many states. Next is management of manufacturing. Late 18,000, United States expanding internal market provided the demand that stimulated many of the development. America achieved economic scale of building a large factory for increased output. In 1817, Andrew Carnegie built a large steam mill to gain economic scale. Then he bought out other steam makers in a time of economic recession in 1817 to integrate the steel industry horizontal. Then he purchased both coal and iron mines that provided the raw material and the heavy engineering corporation that used the steel. By 19,000, Carnegie United States Steel Corporation dominated the industry. Henry Ford then took the concept of the factory production line to the new level. He applied it to the assembly of a wide range of components in the production of automobiles. His company produced thousands of a limited number of models for a growing market. His method, called Fordism, were widely adopted by other industries and in other countries. As you can see in the slide, to your left is the Henry Ford and your right is the Andrew Carnegie.
Okay, next, we're going to proceed to organization in North America.
Next is organization in North America. Under this organization, they have three things, group of 8. NAFTA and the United States Security Council.
So let's start with the first point. What is Group of 8? It refers an economic discussion forum of the world 8 most materially wealthy country. The country that are part of G8 is the United States, Canada, Japan, Germany, the United Kingdom, France, Italy, and also Russia. The United States wields significant influences in the United Nations and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is NATO, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, the Organization of American States, OAS, and the World Trade Organization, WTO. The UN, World Bank, IMF, and OAS are all headquartered in the United States. So next, let's discuss about the function of G8. They discussing global issues such as economic growth, crisis management, global security, energy, and terrorism. G8 also bring more global attention to certain issues and that the group itself does not effect significant change or reform. To provide major industrial power of the non-communists, world are venue in which to address economic concern. The second one is NAFTA, or North American Free Trade Agreement. NAFTA, also called the United States and Canada Free Trade Agreement. NAFTA refers to the formal implementation that was in 1994, which is the World Trading Bloc's. It was established in 1988 between the United States and Canada, and they editing Mexican to agreement in 1994. The three countries tied by NAFTA are now each other's largest trading partners. Next, we proceed to the function of NAFTA. The United States, Canada, and Mexico moved toward an intensive elimination of trade barriers to increase the economic activity between them and strengthen their economic and political positions at the global scale. Proponents of NAFTA claim it created jobs, strengthened, and expand business in industry. It also diversifies the economies of each of the three country partners, enhances foreign revenues, and fortifies each country's ability to compete in a global trade arena. Next, we proceed to the third one, the United Nations. The United Nations is an international organization founded in 1945. The United Nations headquarters, New York City, New York, United States. The United Nations purpose and principle maintaining international peace and security, promoting human rights, fostering social and economic development. It currently made up about of 193 member states. The main organization of the United Nations are the General Assembly, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, the Trusteeship Council, the International Court of Justice, and the United Nations Secretariat. The UN Security Council is the most powerful branch of the organization. Let's find out what is UN Security Council. The UN Security Council founded in 24 October 1945. The Security Council is the United Nations' most powerful body. The purpose of the Security Council is the maintenance of the international peace and security. The decisions of Security Council are binding for the entire UN General Assembly. Action of the Security Council produce healthy debate among US citizens. First, for concerning the role the UN should play globally, and the second action is US should be involved in the role. Let's continue about the 6 functions and powers of the Security Council. The first one is to maintain internationally peace and security. The second function is to investigate any situation which might lead to international frictions. Third one, to recommend methods of adjusting such the terms of settlement. The fourth one is to formulate plans for the establishment of a system to regulate armament. Next, to recommend the admission of new members. And the last one is to exercise the trusteeship function of the United Nations. Let's back to UN Security Council. They have 2 types of members, which is permanent and non-permanent members of the Security Council. Here are the 5 permanent members under the Security Council: China, France, Russia Federation, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Other than these 5 countries, all the country is under non-permanent members. Next, what is the issue in North America? The greatest ethnicity-related challenge facing the Canadian federal government and the movement of French-speaking Canadians toward greater autonomy. How this issue began? French-speaking Canadians have an extremely strong sense of being separate national group within the largest Canadian political frame because of having different region and culture than the English-speaking Canadians. The point is, why this issue happened? Because of the majority of the French region is Catholicism. Quebec see their French language as the strongest symbol. They feel unfair because more of them are use English as their first language. They are choosing to learn English more than French language, choosing to conduct business in English, and also they send their children to private English language school. To describe French-speaking individuals, a person who speaks French and terms using in Quebec, they will call Francophones. Next, we go to Parti Québécois. Parti Québécois, English Quebec Party, founded in October 13, 1968. The first leader of Parti Québécois is René Lévesque. The purpose of achieving Quebec independence from federal government. The Parti Québécois would like to see an independent country of Quebec. Two referendum of Parti Québécois in 1918 and other is 1995. What is Cree? Cree, known as Indigenous Canadian people. They claim the northern third to northern half of Quebec as their ancestral land. They do not wish to be part of independent Quebec and just remain with Canada, because the generation of hydroelectric power is very successful in northern Quebec, able to export energy to US and can generate profitable revenue streams. The current issue of Quebec raises questions of whether the varied region within Canada, separated by great overland distance, continue to provide a complementary unity. Other provinces in Canada have grown wary of the federal government's attempt to appeal to provincial government of Quebec. The Prairie provinces have successfully lobbied the federal government for greater control over their resources and given special treatment to Quebec. What happened to the independence of Quebec? In 2016, most of Quebecers don't want to revisit the question of independence anytime soon. In addition, 64% agree with the statement that issue of Quebec sovereignty is settled and Quebec will remain in Canada. Across the country, 84% of respondents said Quebec should stay in Canada. Lastly, 3/4 of respondents of the Quebec province agree should stay in Canada. And last one is sub-region of North America. They have two sub-region of America, which is the United States and Canada. And last one is sub-region of North America. They have two sub-region of America, which is the United States and Canada. New England, Megalopolis, Manufacturing Belt, Appalachia, U.S. Heartland, Midwest and Great Plains, the South, Western Mountain, Pacific Coast, Alaska and Hawaii is under region of the United States. Every region of United States have their economic activities such as manufacturing industries, agriculture, and service. New England, Megalopolis, Manufacturing Belt, Appalachia, U.S. Heartland, Midwest and Great Plains, the South, Western Mountain, Pacific Coast, Alaska and Hawaii is under region of the United States. Every region of United States have their economic activities such as manufacturing industries, agriculture, and service.
The South, which is contain Washington, Florida, Texas, Georgia, and many more. There is three types of economic activities in this region, which is the first one is tourism. The location is at Miami Beach, Florida. The second one is agriculture, which is the type is seed, plant, and also garden. The location is at Texas, USA. And the last one is manufacturing, which is the type is textile and fabrics, which is location at South Carolina. Western Mountains. Cities and states of Western Mountains is California, Texas, New Mexico, Washington, and many more. There is three types of economic activities in this region, which is first is manufacturing, agriculture, and also services. Manufacturing industries, which is the type of manufacturing industries is plastic fabrication, which is the location is at Las Vegas. And the next one is agriculture, which is the type of agriculture is animal and livestock, which is located at Carson City. And the last one is services, which is the type of services is airline, and the location is at Arizona. Pacific Coast. The states of Pacific Coast is California, Oregon, and also Washington. Agriculture is one of the economic activities for this region. The type of agriculture is pumpkin patch, and the location is at Hillsboro, Oregon. The next one is manufacturing industries. The type of manufacturing industries is doors and windows, which is the location is at Washington, and the company is Milgard Windows and Doors. The last one is services. The type of services is tourism, which is the location is at Yosemite National Park, California. Last but not least is Alaska and Hawaii. The cities and states of Alaska and Hawaii is Alaska, and which is Alaska is Fairbanks and Anchorage, which is Hawaii is Honolulu and Hilo. There is also three economic activities for this region, which is services, manufacturing, and also agriculture. For services, the type is tourism, and the location is at National Park, Hawaii. So now we move to sub-regions of North America, which is Canada. There is 6 regions of Canada, which is first Atlantic provinces. Next is Quebec. The third one is Ontario. The fourth one is Prairie provinces. The fifth one is West Coast, and the last one is Northern Canada. There is 4 cities and states of Atlantic provinces, which is first is Nova Scotia, second is Prince Edward Island, the third one is New Brunswick, and the last one is Newfoundland. There is 3 economic activities of Atlantic provinces, which is the first one is manufacturing, the second one is agriculture, and the last one is mining. The types of manufacturing industry of Atlantic provinces is aircraft, which is the location is Dartmouth, Canada. For agriculture, the type is livestock and the location is at northern Canada and the company is Valley View Farm. For the agriculture, the type of agriculture is livestock and the location is at northern Canada and the company is Valley View Farm. For mining, the type of mining is crystals, rocks, and gems. The location is at Cavendish, Canada, and the company is Cracker Creek Mining Company. Next is Quebec. As for cities and states of Quebec, you may refer to the slide, which is there is lots of the cities and states of Quebec, and the next one is economic activity of Quebec, which is contain 3, which is agriculture, manufacturing industry, and service. For agriculture, the type of agriculture is fruits and vegetables, which is the location as at Canada. The next one is manufacturing, which is the type of manufacturing industry is bus, and the location is at St. Clair, Canada. And the last one is service, which is the type of service is tourism, and the location is at Ramparts of Quebec City, Canada. Ontario. There is a few of cities and states of Ontario such as London, Toronto, Ottawa, Kingston, and many more. The economic activity of Ontario, the first one is manufacturing industry, and the type of manufacturing is plastics, and the location is at Midland, Ontario, Canada. The next one is agriculture. The type of agriculture is egg production. The location of the agriculture is at Caledonia, Ontario, Canada, and the company that do this agriculture is Clark AG Systems. For the service, the type of service is tourism, and the location is at Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Cities and states of prairie provinces. First one is Alberta, second one is Saskatchewan, and the third one is Manitoba. Economic activity of prairie provinces. First one is agriculture. The type of agriculture is corn, wheat, and soybean, and the location is at Manitoba, Canada. And the company that do this agriculture is Monsanto, Canada. The next one is natural resources and energy. The type of natural resources and energy is oil and gas, which is located at Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The company that do this natural resources and energy is Encana Corporation. Last but not least is service. The type of service for these prairie provinces is tourism, and the location is at Regina, Canada. West Coast. The cities and states of West Coast is British Columbia and Ireland. There is three economic activity of West Coast. The first one is mining. The type of mining is copper and the location is at Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. The next one is agriculture, which is the type of agriculture is fruits and the location is Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. And the last one is service, which is the type of service is tourism and the location is at Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Cities and states of northern Canada. The first one is Northern Territories. The second one is Yukon Territories and the third one is Nunavut. Economic activity of northern Canada. The first one is mining. The type of mining is diamond and the location is at Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, Canada. Next is natural resources. The type is gas and petroleum. The location is at Normanville, Northwest Territories, Canada. Last but not least is service. The type of service is tourism and the location is at Inuvik, Northwest Territories, Canada.